guys, how's it going and welcome back. So how would you like to play guitar faster, smoother, in tune for a change, and virtually, if not zero pain, have very little callus for a change, okay, instead of those ugly portobello mushrooms, okay? No more hand cramping either, and even when doing bar chords, okay? So there's some things you have to do, and you have to accept these, or, well, actually, you don't have to accept anything I have to say. However, if you choose not to, then you're stuck with where you are. So let's go through this. First of all, you need to have your action on your guitar, acoustic or electric, set as low as it can go without being a buzz bag. So you don't want it to buzz on strings. You want clean strings. Okay? You don't want any notes fretting out. All right, now if you do play super aggressive, you will buzz strings no matter what you do, okay? But the idea is, under normal circumstances, no buzzing, no dead notes, okay? So set the action up as low as it can go so that it doesn't do that, okay? This is definitely going to give you the first win, okay? Your second win is going to be a light touch, okay? Now, with a light touch, you will not build up big, massive, huge railroad track type calluses, which some people say, this is the badge of honor. No, that is the badge of stupidity, which is what I tell them, okay? And they don't like hearing that. But, of course, I do explain myself of why I say it's the badge of stupidity. They still might not like it, but that's too bad. I call it how it is, okay? Now, you can be a player your entire life, but I'm on the other sides of fences as well. I'm not just a guitar player. I'm also someone who repairs guitars, sets up guitars, of course, as part of that. I also teach guitar. And, I've been at this for over 40 years, So I'm pretty sure that even I made my mistakes too, which I learned from my mistakes. Okay, now when I was being taught guitar, my teacher did not teach me about the light touch. He did not teach me about the super low action. I mean, acoustics will mostly have a higher action than an electric anyway. And you do have a lot more string pressure between the headstock and the bridge on an acoustic over an electric. But if you can set your acoustic up to be really super low action like an electric, then you're going to have so much more of an easier time playing. Even doing bar chords, hardly any pressure required. Okay? But you have to have the guitar set up right. See, how a guitar comes out of the factory and how it should be are two entirely different things, okay? Even with Taylor guitars, doesn't matter. Gibson, I don't care what brand it is. Martin is notorious for sending their guitars out with a super high action, allowing the end user to file down the saddle to lower the action to where they want it to be, so it's their comfort level. So they give you a lot of meat on that saddle to carve down so that you can do that. Where companies like Taylor, they don't leave us a ton of room, but they do leave us some room at the saddle for shaving down, because your action is controlled by two main key features, one of which is your saddle is a major one, but the other one is your neck angle, okay? So if you want to run a dead straight neck, well, if your fretwork's good enough, you can. But if your fretwork's not good enough, you're not going to be able to run a dead straight neck. But I also feel that a dead straight neck is also a bad idea, because that's under tension that it's straight. When you relieve that tension to change your strings, because most of us change all of our strings at once, it flips the neck right back on you. So to pull that neck back up is a very hard chore, and that's going to require a lot of retuning, and it could take even a day or two before it comes back up to straight again, before it's going to be able to be usable. So that's another issue, okay? That for that reason, I also don't go for the whole dead straight neck. And besides which, every guitar should have a slightest amount of upward bow, okay? They call it actually a back bow, because where it actually bows, either forward or backward, okay, it's the reverse bow coming back this way, so the arc is at the back side. So basically your fronts and here come up and your back goes back a little bit. So there should be a very slightest amount. Now with my tailor, I can probably fit a slice of paper in there, and that's it. That's all I can fit. Okay, so my deck is really straight, okay, which is fine, but still has just a smidge of relief, so that when I do come up to the higher notes, I can still get over top, even at the bow area where the main bow is. My string can still lift up enough for the fret in front of it that it doesn't buzz, and that's a very key thing. So, and this is a brand new saddle that's in this guitar, and so it hasn't been altered in any way other than the way Taylor manufactured it, and it's an exact perfect replica of the original saddle, even for the intonation cuts and everything. So, you know, it was just a drop, go, and everything's good to go. But I had to replace my saddle because the tech said there was a problem with mine. So okay, so anyways, he was thinking a couple of months before he could get me one. I emailed Taylor. I had it in 2 weeks, you know, and no charge, which was fantastic. I told them the story, and they said, okay, no problem, send you one out right to your address. Cool. So I got it, loosened off the strings, slammed her in, and everything is like dead on. So even my action is set right back to factory specs. So, low action, very key. Light touch, exceedingly key. You have to have a light touch. The other thing, to become a faster player too, along with a light touch, because you can still have a light touch and have bad curvature, you need to correct your curvature. So, most death grippers, and I was there once too, when we did our chords, we were kind of like this. We were like, you know. But we also ended up with dead notes, even though some of us couldn't hear it, apparently. That's bad curvature. Okay, same as the C. That was bad curvature. So how do we do that? We have to correct our curvature, right? So we have to make sure that things rotate more. Not out here ever, but you know, you have to, you know, and some of us have really long thumbs. I have a long thumb, which is kind of nice. So when I want to do a D add F sharp, it's real easy for me. Right? So, but we need curvature. So if you look at the curvature, these are proper curvature angles. Okay, so you can see the gap spacing, right? You'll find that the D is almost 90 degrees. And there has to be that space underneath. I'm using a proper curvature to allow all the strings to ring out properly. So the F is a real bad arc in this way, right? But it still has space underneath. So I'm not going to create any dead notes even with this finger. Otherwise, if I'm death gripping, I'm like that, and that's bad. And the F is a chord that a lot of guitar players really hate. We hate the F, we hate the B, you know, because our typical B, you know, a lot of us hate that B. It's just a pain in the neck. So we use alternate Bs here, or maybe, you know, up here. We use the B up here, or we can use a B here. And if you need a B flat, just go back one. You got a B flat. So, anyways, curvature, key. Light touch, definitely key. Super low action, as low as you can get it, without the buzz, definitely key. This is going to help you because, you know what? I've been playing for over 40 years. Yes, I'm a smoker. But look at my fingertips. Do you see big portobello mushrooms? No. Do you actually see callus? No. Do you still see my fingerprints? Yes. Okay? I can feel my fingers and they don't feel rough. They don't feel gross. They used to when I was a heavy gripper because my teacher never taught me about the light grip, you know? And it's like, okay. I had to figure this out all on my own. You know, it's like I got fed up with, you know, I couldn't even do bar chords for more than maybe a song. And I'd be like, oh man, that freaking hurts. You know, same with doing, you know, a lot of my regular chords. Squeezing too hard is like my fingers hurt. You know, it wasn't just the tips. It's my actual fingers, my thumb in this area. And if you're finding these things happening to you, then you're actually playing guitar completely wrong. you know, and that's what this video is here to help you with, so you can get on the right track, right? So if you're a beginner, an intermediate, or even an advanced player struggling with these things, that's what I'm here for, to try and help you out with this. Because since I've been doing this, I can play for 8 hours, 10 hours, 14 hours. If I can keep my eyeballs awake, I can keep playing. I feel no pain in my fingertips, no cramping anymore, even doing power chords, regular chords, none of that, okay? And I thought it was just, age creeping up on me because I'm in my, I'm just starting into my 50s, right? And I'm like, man, I'm going to get friggin' old. Is this what happens? I'm losing it. Good thing I'm playing right-handed now, But I'm also working with a bum finger right now because something happened to my middle finger. I still don't know if I sprained it or what, but it's swollen. But I'm still able to play, That finger really isn't bugging me too much, but, to be able to play for hours and hours and not even feel anything. You just put the guitar, walk away, you're fine. And that's the whole idea. Play faster. Play cleaner. That was my bad. I went like this. But anyways, you can just play and play and play into this almost endlessly and not be fatigued and not get big, ugly calluses, which some people think is the badge of honor. Guitar should not hurt you to play, even acoustic. Yes, there's more tension on an acoustic than there is on electric. That's a given. So even with a low action, you would be pressing just a teeny smidge harder if you have a low action on an acoustic, but it won't be to where it probably is right now, which is probably pretty aggressive for you to try and even do a clean bar chord, So low action is definitely there. A lot of people will complain and say, I prefer low action because it's easier to bend strings. I can't even bend strings that well on an acoustic. I can do it on electric easy, but, trying to do it on here, there's so much extra tension because of the thicker strings, And I got a pretty low action on this thing. But you know what? If I had a high action, like these guys, they say, I can get my fingers underneath that string above. Literally, right? So they're actually, bending a note and they're going up and under like this, right? So they're pushing this up and out of the way while they're trying to push this one up. That's actually bad, because see, what can happen is this, right? There, I made it happen. That's bad. That's wrong. That's like so many different ways to wrong. But see, with a low action, you're still moving that string out of the way. You're still pushing up against the string. You're not actually under the string. You're at the string, you're pushing it up, and it stays muted like it's supposed to. Unless you do that. That could be a problem. If you're going up and under all the time, you could end up flicking it, and that's bad. But also, with a higher action, the other result is you're already out of pitch before you even get to the fret wire. Okay? So, if you fret lightly, proper note. If you fret by death gripping, this is what happens. Listen. Raise pitch because you're gripping hard. Okay, so if you do a smooth G, la, that's good, right? Now if you squeeze with a death grip, it goes up. It actually goes up in pitch because you're squeezing harder, you're pushing down. The string should not physically meet the fretboard. If it is, you're out of pitch. Seriously, look, come on, touching the fretboard. Not touching. Touching. You should never be touching the fretboard with that string. That string should never on any guitar come in contact with the fretboard. If it is, you're playing out of pitch and out of tune. Okay? That is plain and simple. It is a fact. That's all there is to it. So, hopefully this video helped you guys out. At least I'm hoping it does. Try it this way. Give it a good honest go. It's going to take you probably a few months, learning how to figure out how much pressure each string needs to have, because each string is going to be different. And then once you figure that out, and you figure out the light touch, and keep it light, and you work out that curvature, and you have that low action, you are going to have hardly any calluses eventually, because you're going to have to undo all that damage you did. Okay, but you'll find that you'll have hardly anything that's even noticeable at all for callus. Visually and by feeling, you'll barely even feel that there's anything there for callus. You will be able to play for hours and hours on end without getting sore fingertips, without getting sore fingers, and without getting any kind of cramping going on in here either, whether you're doing regular chords, bar chords, or power chords. You'll find that you will be a better player overall, and smoother, and just you're going to be in tune and you'll sound better. Whether you're on an electric or an acoustic, no different. And you'll find that even on the acoustic, when you set it up right, you won't have to put that much pressure, okay, or that much anymore. It'll be minimalistic pressure. Okay, so give it a go. Give it a few months. Work your work, do the do's, come back to me in a few months on this video. So bookmark it, history it, watch later list, whatever, and let me know how you made out and how this helped you out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you really enjoyed the video, and we will catch you on the next one. See ya.